Westwood One Podcast Network.
Where the conversation starts.
The Jordan B. Peterson podcast with his very special two-part guest, Joe Rogan.
Oftentimes the last hour of a 3-hour podcast is the best hour.
Yeah, well, that intuition was certainly right and revolutionary.
Part of my revolutionary idea is just me being stubborn.
The Jordan B. Peterson podcast and special guest, Joe Rogan. Download it free and easy at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from the Westwood One Podcast Network.
Hi, I'm Queen Latifah. Even with heart failure, my mother remained strong.
Because without strength, you lose hope. Together, we will rise above heart failure.
To help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Crowley, and I'm Gary McNamara, 86690 Red Eye. Yeah, for those people that don't remember, because you and I talked about it for the longest time, that was the DNC and the Hillary campaign that took campaign money and fed it to an opposition research firm through a law firm, to an opposition research firm that hired Christopher Steele to get dirt on Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Who he used was Igor Danchenko, a former Russian national who'd worked for a Democrat think tank for the longest time. And apparently he and a bunch of friends or whatever in a drunken escapade came up with just ideas and threw it in a dossier and threw it back.
Right.
Threw it back in, and that became the biggest major piece of evidence that Trump colluded with the Russians to hack the election.
Right.
You can make the case, directly or indirectly, because we still don't know, that he was framed by the Democrats.
Yeah, right.
You can make it,
yeah.
Because that's where it came from.
Right.
It came from it came from false opposition research put together from Hillary campaign money and DNC campaign money. That's where it came from.
Yeah. Well, and all of that, again, the liberal media tried to dismiss that when it was brought up by conservatives, by lawmakers, Republican lawmakers at the time, and started going with the narrative that it was a conspiracy theory, that the whole thing was conspiracy theory.
Right. That if you would say, no, Trump didn't do it, here's what happened.
Right.
They called what we just said a conspiracy theory, and that's absolute fact.
Right.
We know that's fact.
Right. And they still kept that narrative alive.
Yep.
Because they weren't being called out on it.
This hour's news is brought to you by Travel Centers of America, home of World Blends Coffee, the freshest roast on the road.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
The Axle Fuel Card gives fleets the fuel they need to keep going, providing money-back rewards, bonus loyalty points, and no transaction or monthly fee. Apply today at axlefuelcard.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-989-1771. 800-989-1771.
Did you actually think you're going to bomb Israel with all these bombs and they're not going to do that? Did you really think that?
Hard work is
Did anybody think that?
Driving your truck throughout the night. That means when the sun goes down,
Didn't we go out
you
there?
step up.
People that
And now
we
we're
did
heading
up?
down the most important road of all, the road to recovery.
So they just supposed to
This
sit
road
there
is
and take
different. It will require working harder and smarter. Now more than ever.
buddy.
That's why Show
I
will
don't
tell
think
us
so.
engineers help you go further, empowering you to do what you do best for longer. Designed with your needs in mind, Show Rotella products will take you further, so you can get more out of every trip. We know there are better days ahead, so don't forget, you're driving more than just deliveries. You're driving recovery. Show Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you. Ask for Show Rotella synthetic engine oil at your next oil change. For more information on how Show Rotella can help you go further, visit rotella.com/go further.
If you're a trucking industry professional, then you need to stay on top of changing regulations, equipment upgrades, and technology advancements. Fleet Owner Magazine gives you all of this and more. Written for fleet executives and managers, Fleet Owner gives you the business intelligence on operations, vehicle maintenance, regulations, and information technology you need to stay ahead. But that's not all. With its monthly print publication, daily and weekly email newsletters, and a website updated several times a day, Fleet Owner has all the latest news and information delivered to you when you want it and where you want it. From industry experts to award-winning writers and columnists, Fleet Owner is the #1 source for trucking information in North America. Remember to visit fleetowner.com every day for the latest industry news. You can also sign up to receive Newsline, their free email newsletter, and subscribe to Fleet Owner Magazine. Visit fleetowner.com. Fleet Owner, for news you can use.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, Montgomery, a Cumulus station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Intense fighting between Israel and Hamas is entering its second week. CBS's Ian Lee is at the foreign desk.
This morning, Israel launched another series of airstrikes targeting locations in the Gaza Strip. This weekend marked the deadliest stretch of the conflict. An Israeli barrage leveled several homes in Gaza City, claiming at least 42 lives.
Israel says it's destroyed 9 miles of militant tunnels and 9 homes that belong to Hamas commanders. In the U.S., a pro-Palestinian protest in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Top model Bella Hadid, whose father is Palestinian, marched in New York City. A key witness in the sex scandal surrounding Congressman Matt Gaetz is scheduled to make a court appearance today. Correspondent Peter King from Orlando.
Last month, Joel Greenberg's attorney hinted that a plea deal could mean trouble for his client's close friend and political ally.
I'm sure Matt Gaetz is not feeling very comfortable today.
Greenberg will formally plead guilty to 6 charges. The one most relevant to the Gaetz investigation is child sex trafficking. Greenberg admits having paid for sex with an underage girl and introducing her to other men. Gaetz is not mentioned in the 86-page plea agreement. He has not been charged and says he hasn't done anything wrong.
Just west of L.A., a suspected arson fire has forced hundreds of people out of their homes. The brush fire spread from Topanga Canyon into Pacific Palisades. So far, no injuries reported. The murder trial of real estate heir Robert Durst is scheduled to resume today. Correspondent Steve Futterman with details from Los Angeles.
The jury was sent home in March of last year because of the COVID pandemic. The jurors had already heard opening statements and 2 days of testimony. Today, the judge is set to question the jurors to see if they can continue to try the case. Robert Durst is charged with murdering a close friend, Susan Berman, in 2000.
New findings show hundreds of thousands of people are literally working themselves to death every year. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
The WHO study suggests stroke and heart disease directly linked to long working hours are killing 745,000 people a year. The study was based on mortality figures from the year 2016. The researchers say the pandemic may have worsened that toll.
Scary moments at an amusement park in Phoenix when close to 24 people got stuck on a roller coaster that stalled 20 feet up.
When we got off, when he lifted, like
people almost fell, and it was scary because we didn't go down one ladder. We had to jump to ladder.
No reports of any injuries and no word yet on why that ride froze up. S&P futures are down 15, Dow futures off 144. This is CBS News.
Small Business Month is here, and Dell Technologies and Windows can help you upgrade your tech with up to 45% off high-performance PCs. Work anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it to. Right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of COBRA plans, for instance, and MediShare is the affordable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves $500 a month. You might save even more. MediShare is a Christian community that shares each other's healthcare costs, and because of the current economic situation, they're making it easier than ever. Apply by May 30th, and you can save an additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have, and start saving. Here it is. Call 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE, 866-88-BIBLE.
President Biden travels to some Ford plants in Dearborn, Michigan today.
The president set to tour a plant that will build an electric F-150 pickup. Company chairman Bill Ford sees the government as a partner in the move to electric vehicles.
The fact that he's coming shows the commitment and the interest that our government has in the electrification of the auto industry.
Ford will show Mr. Biden the electric F-150 Lightning one day before it's revealed to the public. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
Brood X cicadas are coming out of their shells in Washington, D.C. after 17 years of hiding underground. Once casings are pushed aside, they reveal pale yellow wings and blood-red eyes. A Michelin-starred restaurant, Little Pearl, has closed temporarily to spare customers the noisy experience. There have been cicada sightings as far south as Georgia, as far north as New Jersey. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Ron's Roofing knows that when a storm damages your roof, it's hard to know what to do next. Easy.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Ron's Roofing understands that your roof is your home's first line of defense. That's why they work with all insurance companies to ensure that your home is protected from any unexpected storms. A job won't get the Ron's Roofing name on it unless it's done right. Visit ronsroofing.com or call 215-0070.
Hey, Montgomery, Prattville, and surrounding areas, we want to buy your car. Matt Parsley here with Budget Car and Truck Sales. These last few months have been crazy busy, and we're having a hard time buying enough cars to stock the lot. So if you have a car, truck, van, or SUV, and you're thinking about selling it and want a quick, easy way to do it, stop by the dealership and let me make you an offer. We buy all makes and models, so no matter what you have, we could be a buyer for it. And if we come to an agreement on it, I'll give you a check on the spot. Easy peasy. Even if you still owe money on the vehicle and you want to sell it, it's no problem. We'll simply pay off the bank and give you a check for the difference. Maybe you're on the fence about selling a vehicle because you're not sure what you can get for it. We can help there too. Just swing in the dealership and we'll do an appraisal on the vehicle completely free. So let's help each other, Montgomery and Prattville. If you want to sell your vehicle, we want to buy it. Sounds like a perfect match to me. And as always, if you're looking to purchase a nicer, newer car, truck, or van, or SUV, we'd be honored to be your dealership. We are the People's Car Dealer. Budget Car and Truck Sales, 61 Mendel Parkway, Montgomery, or 508 Queen Smith Road, Prattville. Visit us online at buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Only T-Mobile for Business uses unconventional thinking to help businesses realize new possibilities, like our WFX solutions, enabled by our nationwide 5G network that help teams stay connected and productive where work happens. We also provide an award-winning customer experience and first-class benefits with every plan. Get unmatched network support and value without any trade-offs at T-Mobile.com/unconventional. T-Mobile device required. Coverage unavailable in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
Do you know
know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you their precious metals investment guide. Get gold you can hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
I didn't know it.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable, not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s. And then for Tuesday, more clouds than sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Savory for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, we are looking good. Your Monday kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Auburn, and Greenville. No problems on Highway 80 or 14 coming in from Selma, and 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy, still carrying light traffic. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Summer registration is underway at Trenton State. Classes starting this Wednesday, May 19th. Choose your career and change your life. Call Trenton State Community College. Buckle up, front and back. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your auto maintenance needs,
Major Delay.
Chico's Auto Pros now offers a full-service automotive center. Call Chico's today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Monday. We're finding some breaking news from Coosa County, where officials found a body face down in the water in Pink Creek. That's near Hidden Valley community. No word on who it is or if foul play is suspected. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. State investigators looking into a Sunday shooting that injured 4 police officers in Birmingham. The officers were serving a search warrant to a suspect who was wanted in shooting. The investigation started earlier that morning when police responded to a shooting at a park where a man and woman were both shot and killed. All 4 officers are expected to recover. Police ended up killing the suspect. Officials with the nation's largest gas pipeline, which was hit by a ransomware cyber attack last week, say they're back to normal operations now. The Colonial Pipeline says it's now delivering millions of gallons of fuel every hour. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says about 200 gas stations returning to service every hour, and things should be back to normal by sometime later this morning. That's your news on this Monday morning. I'm Judd Davis for WSFA 12 News.
I love Urban Cookhouse. They have such a variety of healthy salads, sandwiches, and wraps made to order from the freshest fruits and veggies.
Bourbon Cookhouse is my favorite too, but you can keep your salad. I love their shrimp kebabs, lime marinated steak and chicken special. Their meats are cooked to perfection on green eggs right there in the kitchen.
It's safe to say we can agree to agree. Urban Cookhouse is the freshest, tastiest, bestest casual restaurant in the entire river region.
Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Located in East Chase across from Best Buy. Urban Cookhouse, simply the bestest.
Montgomery's most trusted shop for auto, paint, body, and mechanical repair. It's got to be McGriff. McGriff Auto Service also does oil changes and other routine maintenance, including warranty inspections. And they're still offering pickup within a 10-mile radius on Bell Street in Montgomery. McGriff.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Place with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Food additives can harm children's development and raise the risk of obesity. To lower the risks, choose fresh fruits and vegetables when you can.
Alrighty then.
Microwave because heat food has chemicals to leak into your food. When cooking or serving hot foods, use glass or ceramic dishes. For more on keeping your child healthy, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
My muscles ached. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
you don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had West Nile virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
My job, finances, everything's so crazy. I just want to feel in control. With Sam, I can.
Sam is Smart About Money, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Get empowered. Reach your financial goals. Visit samican.org.
I got smart about mortgages, smart about college.
When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find it at smartaboutmoney.org, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Ooh. And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and you know what time it is. It's time for our daily bread. And of course, our daily breads were brought to you by, like they are every morning, by Alabama Home Mortgage. 567-4223 is their number. Make sure if you in the process of wanting to refinance, you know, interest rates are really low, or if you want to buy your house for the first time, they can help you. They always help me. All right. And then we'll come back with our daily bread. And our daily bread today is called Pursued by Love. Good morning. It is the 17th of May, 2021 AD.
Hey there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. Unless you've been living under a rock, then you know that mortgage rates are low. But did you know that mortgage rates have fallen to their lowest level since 1971? That's 50 years ago. So there's no wonder why you are getting bombarded with mortgage offers. Churchill said it best. A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. That's exactly what other mortgage companies do. They advertise a rate, a teaser, if you will. The advertised rate piques your interest, so you give them a call. You ask questions, only to find the advertised rate is not available to you, or there's a hefty cost for you to get that rate. Unfortunately, this is very common in the mortgage industry. When calling on Alabama Home Mortgage, you don't have to hope you're getting the best rate. You will know you're getting the best rate at the lowest cost to you. Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS 1586368, equal housing lender.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And again, once again this morning, good morning to everybody. It's time to rise and shine. It's May 17th, 2021 AD. It's a special day today because this day, like all the days of old, has never been. And I guarantee we may be held accountable for what we do this day. But this day, May the 17th, 2021 AD, it's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. And once it's gone, you don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do what you should have done this day. And you certainly don't get to come back and undo the things that you did. So whatever you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you be proud of what you have done on this day, May the 17th, 2021. There's no doubt if you've lived a while, you've seen, you have heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day that is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, whatever it is, reach back and give somebody else a helping hand if you can. Benjamin Elijah Mays once said that whatever you do in life, you should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful, because you are not a failure. Oh, you will fail at some things too, but you are not a failure as long as you never quit. You don't give up. You don't stop. You keep moving, because quitters don't win. And winners, oh, again, they may fail at a thing or two, but they don't quit. They keep going. They keep going. And when the mountains get in the way, you try to go around them, but sometimes it's just a little bit too wide. Sometimes you try to go over it. Sometimes it's a little bit too high. And sometimes you try to go under it, and sometimes it's a little too low. If it's too high to go over, too wide to go around, and too deep to go under, sometimes you got to go through the mountain. That's not a big deal if you ask for some help. But whatever you do, this day and this day forward, you don't quit. You don't give up. You don't ever give up. Because winners don't quit, and quitters, it's a matter of science, they never win. And no matter what happens on this day, which is May the 17th, 2021 AD, no matter what happens, this day, like so many others, if we have been blessed to live, I want you to remember, it always has been, and it always will be, a great day to be alive. Can I get an amen on that one? Amen. And whatever you do this day, don't quit. Keep going. Pursued by love, I will say salvation comes from the Lord. And that's Jonah 2:9. We'll be back. Good morning, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine.
Hey there, and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled Pursued by Love, was written by Lisa M. Samra. I fled him, down the nights and down the days, opens the famous poem, The Hound of Heaven, by English poet Francis Thompson. Thompson describes Jesus' unceasing pursuit, despite his efforts to hide or even run away from God. The poet imagines God speaking to him and saying, I am he whom thou seekest. The pursuing love of God is a central theme of the book of Jonah. The prophet received an assignment to tell the people of Nineveh, who were notorious enemies of Israel, about their need to turn to God. But instead, Jonah ran away from the Lord. He secured passage on a ship sailing in the opposite direction of Nineveh, but the vessel was soon overcome by a violent storm. To save the ship's crew, Jonah was thrown overboard before being swallowed by a large fish. In his own beautiful poem, Jonah recounted that despite his best efforts to run away from God, God pursued him. When Jonah was overcome by his situation and needed to be saved, he cried out to God in prayer and turned toward his love. God answered and provided rescue not only for Jonah, but for his Assyrian enemies as well. As described in both poems, there may be seasons of our lives when we try to run from God. Even then, Jesus loves us and is at work, guiding us back into restored relationship with Him. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Jonah chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and He answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the depths, into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains, I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever. But you, Lord my God, brought my life up from the pit. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. I will say, salvation comes from the Lord. Let's pray. Father in heaven, many of us can relate our salvation story to this passage. How many times and in how many places did we try to hide from you? We thought we were in charge of our own destiny, and we thought we could do all of this life on our own. But you shined light into those places and drew us into your loving arms. Thank you for lovingly pursuing us with your relentless love. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Well, you know what time it is? It's time to rise and shine. You got the word? Now it's time to get up with the birds. It's time to get it done. You don't have much because you don't work. You don't want much. You can't get nothing laying in bed. It's time to rise and shine. Good morning, Maxwell. Good morning, Alabama National Guard. It's time to go to work. Hey, hurry up. We're missing daylight here, okay? Now, let's pay homage to our armed forces. The United States of America, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. And don't forget the police department, my good friend sanitation department, and the maintenance department. Don't want to leave them out either. Good morning to the mayor and all the dignitaries of this city. It's time to rise and shine. Let's go to work. No, four.
We will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to thank the tigers of the United States of
Well. I mean, you cannot be an American and not appreciate those songs every morning. That means you are still free, and the USA, for the time being, unless the Democrats change it, is still the USA. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. We got a few things going on this morning, but not yet. You know, 6:29, which means around this time I got to go to a break. But when I come back, we got some good audio. Not gonna play the Be Kind thing this morning. I said I was gonna do it every morning, but I'm gonna do it once a week. I haven't figured out which day yet. Okay, because I got some good stuff this morning. Something. Hopefully, it will help you. I hope it does. That's the reason I play these things to start your week off right with some motivation. Okay, so don't you guys, don't go back to sleep or anything like that. It's time to get up. Time to go to work. It's light outside. Anyone who can stay asleep when it's light outside? I can only do that on Saturday morning. But Z gets up and they get to making noise, and you got to get up anyway. But Sunday morning, then on Sunday morning, if you sleep a long time when the sun's out, you're feeling bad because you know you ought to be at church someplace, right? You know you should be getting ready to go, right? You know that. I mean, even when doing the whole pandemic thing, you know you're supposed to get up going to church. But I did go to I went to church yesterday, of course. But I did go to the Facebook thing. You know, everybody had church. I listened to this guy in Atlanta named Bishop Bronner. It's called the Cathedral of Worship. It's a good guy. He a little bit different, but he all right. We'll be back right after this message. So don't you guys go no place. Hope somebody's up this time of morning. If not, well, call somebody. We'll be back.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. You probably have someone in your life who looks out for you. Thank them by getting vaccinated. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable, not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s, and then for Tuesday, more clouds and sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. Your Monday morning has no major problems or accidents being reported that would send anybody on an alternate route. Check with the surrounding counties. They're all clear. You keep listening, and we'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Reinhardt Toyota is receiving truckloads of Toyotas every day. Get the Toyota you've always wanted while you can. Reinhardt Toyota on the East Boulevard. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's Knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's Knows.
It's time to celebrate at Allison Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram during Jeep Freedom Days. Drive a new Ram 1500 with 0% APR for 72 months. And new Jeep SUVs come with 0% APR for 72 2 months. Celebrate your freedom to shop online right now. They're available via chat, text, and phone to help you. DallasAutomotive.com, where your safety and satisfaction are always guaranteed. With approved credit, must finance through Chrysler Capital. 13.88 per $1,000 finance. Dealer retains all factory incentives. See dealer for details.
If there's a sudden disaster and you can't get to the grocery store, or they're all out of food, what would you do? You'll wish you had emergency food to get you through the crisis. And that's why we're here. We're MyPatriotSupply.com, America's leading source of emergency food. Our food lasts for up to 25 years, and millions of families trust us for their disaster survival. Won't you join us? Unlike other food companies, we don't skimp on calories. Our meals give you more than 2,000 calories per day. Why? Because that's what you need to survive any challenging crisis. And right now, you can save $50 on our popular 4-week emergency food kit. Just go to MyPatriotSupply.com and place your order. We ship fast, 2 to 3 days max, and your food arrives discreetly right to your door. So order today and save $50 at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris, encouraging you to take the Purple Pledge and support the 47 million people worldwide who are living with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias.
The number of Americans living with Alzheimer's is growing at an alarming rate. 10% of people over the age of 65 have the disease, and 2/3 of them are women. Someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's every minute. As the number of older Americans continues to grow, so will the number of new and existing cases of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. New research is making it possible to detect Alzheimer's disease and providing an accurate diagnosis earlier than ever before. Learning the signs of Alzheimer's, and if you notice them in a family member, seek medical treatment.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. For more information, visit our website, www.alabamapublichealth.gov.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lonray Falusi with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Did you know that tooth decay is an infection? Luckily, cavities are largely preventable. The bacteria that cause cavities pass from parents to children, so good oral health is a family affair. Take care of baby teeth as soon as they emerge by brushing them with a smear of toothpaste with fluoride. Talk with your pediatrician about your baby's oral health and take him to the dentist by age 1. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
It's the Rush Limbaugh Show. And these people look absolutely pathetic. After Rick and Bubba, it's the EIB Network at 11 a.m. And it's only on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, we're back. Now, this next piece I'm getting ready to play for you guys, it's an interesting piece because it deals with a lot of things that a lot of us have a hard time with. And what's that? That's attitude. Everybody's got 24 hours in each day. Nobody has even rich people still got the same 24. Poor people got the same 24. What's the difference in what some people do with their 24 and others do with their 24 hours? Everybody's got the same amount of time in each day. It's about attitude. It's about how you deal with life and the situations that come up. Okay, how you look. I've often said that my ideology is built upon what I think is my own personal philosophy, learning and living and learning from others and the things they've done and things, and hopefully I've learned a few things from my own stupid things I've done in life. But that's not the biggest deal. Mistakes happen. Everybody has those. Everybody has those. Right? Okay. If you haven't had any, you haven't done anything. You haven't left the house yet. Okay. You're still in diapers, walking around with a load on you. Okay. I'm just saying, if you've lived a while, you have made some stupid decisions. Every last one of us have. That's okay. That's what life is made of. That's one of the ingredients in life. But the biggest thing in life, whether it's school, whether it's football, whether it's Brady, whether you know why Brady is such a great winner? Because Brady has a great attitude. Okay, and that's what this piece is about. It's only 5 minutes, but I think you'll get the message out of this thing. It's about attitude. Attitude can carry you a long, long way. Okay, so here you go. And this is by Dr. Miles. He used to be a pastor. I think he died in a plane crash some years ago. But anyway, I think you listen to this, and it'll change. It's called the power of attitude. So don't you guys go no place. Check this out. If this doesn't do something for you, then you just check your pulse. You may not be alive. Okay? We'll be back.
The Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle. The eagle. And the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals. And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude. Everybody say attitude. A leader has an attitude that makes him or her different from followers. Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion to me is a great source of encouragement to all of us. I want you to write this down. Remember this as long as you live. Number one, the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. Number two, the lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. Number three, the lion is not the heaviest animal in the jungle. Number four, the lion is not the smartest animal or the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet, when he shows up, they all run away. Well, here's one of my favorite quotes that I put in my books, and I believe it really brings home the point. An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. And the answers to that dilemma is this: because leadership can transform cowards into violent warriors. The right kind of leadership can transform a timid into bold people who are fearless. Leadership is that powerful. Leadership can walk into a camp of depressed people, and in 20 minutes they have turned on into unbelievable, powerful armies. Because leadership determines everything. The lion is the king of the jungle because of one word: attitude. Everybody say attitude. Write it down. Attitude. The lion has a different attitude that makes every animal afraid of him. Now, we don't want to lead by fear.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes.
But it does take respect for you to become a leader. When I use the word fear in the jungle, we're talking about respect. The elephant respects the lion. The hyenas respect the lion. The giraffes, they respect the lion. What makes these massive animals respect such a small cat? The attitude is the difference. For example, a lion will see an elephant, and the thing that comes to his mind, one word: lunch. 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 I can eat this thing. And he acts the way he thinks. Now, here's another amazing mystery. The elephant is larger, bigger, stronger, more powerful, heavier, and more intelligent. And yet, when the elephant sees the lion, one word comes to mind: eater. Attitude is a product of belief. You cannot have an attitude beyond your belief. So your attitude comes from your belief system. The lion is the king because of what he believes about himself.
Okay, Not very long, but this guy is Dr. Miles. What is his first name? Somebody just sent me his name. His name is Miles Monroe. As a matter of fact, what a prolific speaker he is. But what a great guy. Anyway, good morning. Good morning to all of you. The lion. He says when the lion sees the elephant, he sees lunch. When the elephant sees the lion, he sees, what does he see? Eater. Okay, so I need to be at someplace else right about now. Okay, but again, the lion is not the biggest animal in the jungle. He's not the tallest. He's not the strongest, and he's certainly not the smartest. But he is the baddest mofo in the jungle. Okay, everybody's scared of the lion. What's that about? Attitude. So, people, if you want to get places in life, if you want to get your groove on, you need to have a better attitude. Okay, and some attitudes take you forward, and some take you backwards. Okay, I didn't say arrogance. We said good attitude. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. That is amazing. When the elephant sees the lion, he sees somebody's going to eat him, and the lion sees the elephant. He says, "Yeah, that's lunch." Woo! Okay. Well, listen, I'm glad I wasn't born one of those guys. But if I had to be born one of those guys, I think I want to be the lion. At least if the story that Dr. Miles is telling me is right, then yeah, I think I want to be him. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. Now I got my other stuff here. Oh, there's my other stuff right there. There it is, right there. There's my other stuff. Okay, as I do every morning, there are lessons of life that you must learn each and every day. And today is no exception. There is a lesson of life. You know, a lot of us think we're important. We got a business. We made some semblance of success. Not a whole lot, but I wonder who that is on my. Who is this? Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Well, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. What? Oh yeah, like on my Cash App or something like that. Hey, when we gonna have another meeting? Yeah, I get tired of looking in the paper and finding out things that are going on we don't know nothing about. Okay. So who's the chairman of this thing? Nope, nobody. Well, y'all need to make me chairman. I get something. That's right. Cause we're gonna get something done. Another thing too. Listen, you did a great job the other night in getting that meeting started. I think you got some great insight there. I hope it all works out. I'll try to be involved where I can. But you were trying to do something for these young folks who are, who lost their way temporarily. Yeah. Since I know where it is now, other day I sat over there for like outside at the armory, you know. Yeah, but that's okay. I don't care. At least I was down there. But I know where it is now. I know how to get up there now. So we're with it. Yeah. 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 Somebody just asked me when we're going to have our meetings for the but as a matter of fact, we need to probably have one online for your mentors in Montgomery, as well as the Park and Recreation. But we need to do this online so people can see what we're doing if we're doing it. Yeah, because we need to get something done here. Okay, I'm tired of just showing up at the meeting. I need to go out and kick butt. Okay, I just want to know. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, we need to work on that. All right, Commissioner, I appreciate your call early and first thing. At least I know you up getting at it. That's good. Getting it. You too, man. Appreciate it. Getting it done. Again, what we're talking about, we were talking about doing things in life. Um, the lesson of life this morning is this: if you need a business card, you are not truly successful. So don't think you are. Okay. Work until you no longer have to introduce yourself. Okay. If Michael Jordan walked through here, everybody, okay, he don't. Does Michael Jordan need a card? Of course not. I mean, does he need one? Does the mayor of Montgomery need a card? No, no. We know who they are. Okay, I'm just saying. So they says if you need a business card, you are not truly successful. Work until you no longer have to introduce yourself. Okay, and that's a heavy standard. That's a high standard to meet. But when you get there, then you are somewhat successful. Okay, work until you no longer have to introduce yourself. If you still got to introduce yourself, then yeah, you're not really that successful yet. So don't get an attitude. The word of the day is this: it means hatefully or shockingly evil. And the word that goes with that meaning is heinous, 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 heinous. Okay, I'm just telling you that's what the word means. Okay, things that have happened on this day. It is May the 17th. It is the 137th day of this year. Believe it or not, there are only 228 days left in this year. It was May 17, 2004, when Massachusetts became the first state to allow same-sex marriages. In 1536, Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranmer, whatever his name is, declared that the marriage of England's King Henry IV and to Anne Boleyn invalid after she failed to produce a male heir. Boleyn, already condemned for high treason, was executed 2 days later. Kind of hard living over. No wonder we had to break off from over them folks over there. 1792, the New York Stock Exchange had its beginning as a group of brokers met under a tree on Wall Street and signed a Buttonwood Agreement, whatever that is. In 1946, on this day, President Harry S. Truman seized control of the nation's railways, delaying but not preventing a threatened strike by engineers and trainmen. In 1954, on this day, a unanimous U.S. Supreme Court handed down the Brown v. Board of Education in Topeka decision, which held that racially segregated public schools were inherently unequal and therefore unconstitutional. And now we're back, here we are in 2021, and we're pretty much back to segregated schools all over again. What goes around comes around. Nothing changes, just the date. 1968, 9 men and women, including brothers Daniel and Philip Berrigan, entered the Selected Service Office in Cantonville, Maryland, seized several hundred draft files, and burned them outside to protest the Vietnam War before being arrested. The Cantonville Nine, as they came to be known, received federal prison sentences ranging from 24 to 42 months just for burning paper. Okay. 1973, on this day, a special committee convened at the U.S. Senate building its televised hearing into the Watergate scandal. In 1980, rioting that claimed 18 lives erupted in Miami's Liberty City after all-white jury in Tampa acquitted 4 former Miami police officers are fatally beating a black insurance executive, Arthur McDuffie. In 1987, 37 American sailors were killed when an Iraqi warplane attacked the U.S. Navy frigate Stark in the Persian Gulf. Iraq apologized for the attack, calling it a mistake, and paid more than $27 million in compensation. I think that's going to bring them back. In 1996, President Bill Clinton signed a measure requiring neighborhood notification when sex offenders move in. It's called Megan's Law, as it's known. It was named after Megan Kenka, a 7-year-old New Jersey girl who had been raped and murdered in 1994. The year was 2002. Former President Jimmy Carter ended his historic visit to Cuba, sharply at odds with the Bush administration over how to deal with Fidel Castro, saying limits on tourism and trade often hurt Americans more than it does the Cubans. Listen, anybody can still drive around a 1957 Chevrolet, know how to survive. Okay, make the parts. So I don't know if we helping them or not. I don't know. But I know some folks from Cuba. Don't have a whole lot to say about it. Anyway, move right along. In 2006, the FBI began digging at a Michigan horse farm and searched for the remains of former Teamster Jimmy Hoffa. 2-week search yielded no evidence. It is announced that Paul McCartney and his wife Heather Mills McCartney had agreed to separate. I don't know where Jimmy Hoffa is, but nobody has found him yet. Okay, I mean, he could have just went in the witness protection program. I mean, we don't know. You know, he could be still around someplace. You know, I don't know. In 2017, the Justice Department appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller as a special counsel to oversee the federal investigation and the potential coordination between Russia and the 2016 Donald Trump campaign. Private Chelsea Manning, who's really a guy, I don't know why we call him. Anyway, the soldier who was sentenced to 35 years in military prison for giving classified materials to WikiLeaks walked free after serving 7 years behind bars. His sentence, even though they got her sentence, his sentence having been commuted by President Barack Hussein Obama. Okay, and it was 10 years ago today. That's right. Oh, was it 5 years ago? 5 years. No, 10 years ago. President Barack Obama strolled on into the stormy abortion debate, telling graduates at the University of Notre Dame, up there in my home, up there in my house. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, in South Bend right there. Okay, that both sides had to stop demonizing the other. In Sri Lanka, I should have been up there that day. I couldn't drive, so don't worry about it. He missed me. Tamil Tigers admitted defeat in their fierce quarter-century war for a separate homeland. Barbara Mandrell, Roy Clark, and Charlie McCoy were inducted into the Country Hall of Fame. And it was 5 years ago, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, what a name, signed the Right to Try bill allowing terminally ill patients to obtain experimental drugs without getting federal approval. Thousands of cheering supporters welcome somebody, I can't pronounce her name, Narendra Modi, India's next prime minister, on his arrival into New Delhi after leading his party to a staggering victory in the national election. California Chrome won the Preakness to keep alive its bid for the Triple Crown. Okay, guess it didn't work out for him. One more thing. 1 year ago, with 6 Democrats joining Republicans in voting to confirm her, Gina Haspel won Senate confirmation to become the director of the CIA. The Miss America organization announced that it would now have women in its 3 top leadership positions after an email scandal in which male officials were caught making vulgar and insulting comments about past winners. I mean, you know, that makes sense. I mean, you know, you're going to have Miss America without having a woman, you know, there too. I think that makes sense. I mean, you know, it's like women judging all men. I mean, I don't know. But I think that's, you know, that's a good idea. I mean, you know, it's Miss America. So you got to have a woman there. I'm good. I mean, let's just face it, guys. You know, when we look at women, we don't look for the intellectual side of women. Come on now, we don't. We look at the physique. Is it good? Is it bad? Is she cute? Is she ugly? Is she fat? Is she skinny? Come on, let's be honest. Okay. We don't really have an appreciation for the intellectual abilities of women. We don't. Now I do because I'm more sophisticated than most guys. So I can appreciate the intellectual sophistication of females. I can. Matter of fact, I think women fundamentally are more intellectual than men. I do. I really believe that. But they can't beat the lion though. You know, it takes a man to beat the lion. I'm just saying. Anyway, my time's just about up here, so I just thought I'd let you guys in on that, and we'll come back. Now at 7:30, I do have a city councilman calling in. See ya.
Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Monday. We're finding some breaking news from Coosa County, where officials found a body face down in the water in Pink Creek. That's near Hidden Valley community. No word on who it is or if foul play is suspected. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. State investigators looking into a Sunday shooting that injured 4 police officers in Birmingham. The officers were serving a search warrant for suspects wanted in a shooting. The investigation started earlier that morning when police responded to a shooting at a park where a man and woman were both shot and killed. All 4 officers are expected to recover. Police ended up killing the suspect. Officials with the nation's largest gas pipeline, which was hit by a ransomware cyber attack last week, say they're back to normal operations now. The Colonial Pipeline says it's now delivering millions of gallons of fuel every hour. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says about 200 gas stations returning to service every hour, and they should be back to normal by sometime later this morning. That's your news on this Monday morning. I'm Jed Davis for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, Montgomery, a Cumulus station.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Deadly airstrikes ramp up as the fiery conflict between Israel and Hamas enters its second week. Correspondent Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
The military said it hit Hamas tunnels and the homes of 9 commanders. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told CBS's Face the Nation that it's too early to talk about a ceasefire.
We're trying to degrade Hamas's terrorist abilities and to degrade their will to do this again. So it'll take some time. I hope it won't take long, but it's not immediate.
Hamas has also vowed to fight on as rockets rain down on Israel.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. has asked Israel to provide justification for blowing up an office building that housed the AP and Al Jazeera over the weekend. The Biden administration announced this morning millions of parents will begin receiving child cash benefits this summer. CBS's Sarah Ewald Weiss.
Starting July 15th, eligible families will begin seeing monthly payments of up to $300 for every child under the age of 6 and up to $250 for every child ages 6 to 17.
Today, by the way, the deadline for filing your taxes or an extension. A blockbuster deal in the media world.
It is going to be beautiful.
Great. Discovery, which owns lifestyle channels like HGTV, its Property Brothers show, and the Food Network, is combining assets with AT&T, home of HBO, Warner Brothers, and CNN. The 2 companies hope the $43 billion deal will help fend off competition from streamers like Netflix and Paramount Plus. Starbucks is joining companies like Trader Joe's and Walmart and dropping mask mandates for fully vaccinated customers. Brown University's Dr. Ashish Jha tells CBS this morning he thinks it's too soon.
The majority of Americans are not yet fully vaccinated, and retailers have no idea who is vaccinated and who's not.
Mask rules still apply at stores in states and cities that have not adopted new CDC guidelines. Colonial is pumping fuel at full capacity again, but thousands of gas stations in the South are still without. A week and a half after the pipeline was hacked, 88% of stations in Washington, D.C. are dry.
I've been trying to look for gas. I work in Leesburg, so it happened, right before the weekend, which was okay. But now it's like, how am I going to get to work?
A political statement from Miss Myanmar at last night's Miss Universe pageant in Florida.
Our people are dying and being shot by the military every day.
She held up a sign on stage that read, "Pray for Myanmar." Miss Mexico won the title. S&P futures are down 19. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it too. Right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of COBRA plans, for instance, and MediShare is the affordable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves $500 a month. You might save even more. MediShare is a Christian community that shares each other's healthcare costs, and because of the current economic situation, they're making it easier than ever. Apply by May 30th, and you can save an additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have, and start saving. Here it is. Call 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE, 866-88-BIBLE.
A streaming star makes a plea from behind bars. The man who made Tiger King a hit, Joe Exotic, says he believes he has prostate cancer as he serves a 22-year prison sentence for violating wildlife laws and a murder-for-hire plot to kill fellow series star Carol Baskin. He's angling for parole. Joe's lawyer says he hasn't been diagnosed with cancer as of yet and is still awaiting further tests. Wendy Gillette, CBS News. This is tax day, and if you haven't finished up, you can always file for an extension. If you have, or even if you haven't, you can celebrate with free food and deals. Applebee's is offering mucho cocktails for $5. It's the same price for a Cheers to Patron Rita at Chili's. Domino's offering 49% off all pizzas from 4 to 9. And Krispy Kreme is giving out free medium coffees and a free original glazed for everyone with no purchase necessary. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's a different year. You need to reach your potential customers, and your customers need to be able to find you. Let Cumulus Media help. We've built a unique opportunity for you to connect your business with River Region homeowners that are looking for your products and services. Radio, digital, and lead generation for your business, helping you reach hundreds of thousands of people in this area. You need to talk to Cumulus Media. Call Don Polno at 334-240-2257. That's 334-240-2257.
Montgomery and Prattville. Matt Parsley here from Budget Car and Truck Sales. Did you miss me? I've been wondering, if you miss a payment on a Tesla, does it drive itself back to the bank? So if you hate the car you're driving, is your current payment too much? Do you owe too much on your trade? Come see me and spring into savings. I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. No matter who you bought it from, no matter how much you owe, I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. Better yet, you could buy with just $1 down. $1 down. And if your credit doesn't shine, you're gonna be fine. My perfect payment plan works, and it helps you drive a car you love with a payment you can afford. $4,000 more for your trade-in, a car you love, and drive a car with just $1 down. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Did you miss us? I'm Matt Parsley. I'm your dealer for the people. See all these rides at our new website, buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com. Credit at $1 down.
Every now and then, you come across a store that just makes you feel good inside, like the Feedlot at Pike Road, providing quality service, fair pricing, and a feeling of nostalgia. Check out these deals going on now through Father's Day. 10% off all case knives. If you haven't already inherited one, 600-pound Boss Buck feeders, $75 off. Karcher pressure washers for $189 to $99. Plus, specials on tools and trimmers from Crescent and DeWalt. The Feedlot at Pike Road, 2050 Merriweather Road.
Do you know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you Their precious metals investment guide, Get Gold You Can Hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD.
Many of the locally owned and operated restaurants you love are staying open to serve you during this difficult time. To find a list of these restaurants, visit newsradio1440.com. Eat local and help our local businesses stay open.
All right.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. Now it's not. Radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are nice. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh,
Okay, can we get to the bridge, guys? I gotta get this thing on the road here. Okay. All right then. Good morning. 7:30 coming up. We're going to talk to one of our city council people this morning, Arandi Mitchell, who always is amenable and wouldn't come on and talk, so I can't get them all wrong. But I would imagine at some point in time, when we get closer to the next election, everybody be coming out. You know. I mean, me, if I'm a city council person, I'm looking for a microphone to talk. I'm looking for somebody to tell something. I don't know what, but something. I don't know what, but I just got to tell them. All right. All right, then. Good morning to you. But until that time, if you got something on your mind and you want to give us a call, now I'm gonna try to have the ability to you guys to ask questions. And we got a new engineer coming in today, so hopefully we'll get my phones all fixed and all that stuff. And we'll be, since the pandemic's not really over yet, but since the CDC has said that you don't need to have the mask on now if you've been vaccinated like me, but I don't really know, if I'm going in the big room with you, I'm still wearing the mask. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I never can tell. Although I'm sure that there have probably been people that succumb to this disease, even wearing a mask. I'm just grateful to be here today. And like the man said a little while ago, that my birthday was yesterday. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the hundreds of things I got on my Facebook page. That was cool. I appreciate that. My grandkids came and gave me a big old 64. They're holding these big 64 numbers up all over town so people can see how old I was. I'm good though. I'm not gonna be like some women I know. They get a certain age, they don't tell nobody. I'm good. Listen, is it better to say I'm 64 than say I died at 63? No, we good. And I feel good, feel great. Get up early every morning. I'm not ready to retire yet, so I'm good. Gotta keep making that dollar. Make a dollar holler. All right then. But until 7:30, I'm gonna talk about some other things. Today, the lawmakers come back to town. There's a couple of things that they are trying to see whether or not they are going to get anything done that's worthy of talking about. Since they can't seem to come up with a clean bill for a lottery, that just seems almost an impossibility. Let me digress a little bit. I was thinking over the weekend. Now, Montgomery, we are short of police officers, right? We really are short of police officers, right? So, matter of fact, I got a call yesterday from somebody said that they called the police, a local business person, and the police said they didn't have enough officers to make it over there. Okay, I'm glad nobody was getting shot or anything like that. That for we wouldn't know. And it seems that more police are getting shot now than crooks are. Birmingham, 4 policemen. I mean, but listen, we put our police in a difficult position. Well, if they shoot, well, you didn't have to shoot them. But nobody ever tells a crook you shouldn't shoot at the police. Nobody tells them that. I don't know. I think we are putting our policemen in a very precarious and dangerous situation. Because lately, more of them been shot than the crooks been shot. So are we saying now that the crook has to shoot at you first before you can shoot? I don't know, but it's not a great time to be a police officer right now. But anyway, let me digress. If you want to give a call, 860-1440, that's enough. You have to be up. I was thinking, we pay these lawmakers who come in session for 90 days. And out of those 90 days, they don't really use every day to be at the House. They certain days a week they there. I guess other days they go to committee meetings. Other than that, they just get paid. And I'm thinking, so I don't know what the starting salary of a policeman is, but I think the starting salary is around $35,000 a year, who work every day. Okay, who don't get, to go home, only working a couple of days a week. They got to work every day. So I'm saying to myself, well, why don't we pay the starting salary of a police officer $49 and pay our local politicians the $32,000? I mean, it makes sense to me since they're only working, 90 days out of the year. Now I realize you get called all times of year, and that's stupid. That just goes along with the job. That's just part of the job. But why do we pay our policemen so little and our politicians so much? And the policemen do all the work, and the politicians be watching girls do the jerk. I'm just saying, why don't we pay our policemen more? And then you'd have a line of people trying to get on the police department. Right now, we'd have a line. Not only do they got to put up with so much crap, but they got to put up with so much crap now, and they'll hardly make any money. Now it's okay to put up a little crap if you're being compensated for it. But our policemen are really not being compensated for the job that they do. And I'm thinking, so why do we pay these people? Now I think you ought to pay people good money, but that's the thing about it. You work 90 days a year, and then most of that 90-day stretch, you're not actually working. I mean, you get paid to think. Now thinking is important, but obviously they're not really good thinkers down at the House or the state Senate, because if they were thinking, they would be thinking, maybe it's time to give our folks a lottery. Because the lottery in Georgia right now, the big lottery, it's about $458 million right now, right? Yesterday, I know people yesterday that went to Georgia to give them money. They took Alabama money and went to Georgia so they could buy a ticket. Okay. Now I would imagine you go up through Fort Benning somewhere there, and somewhere on the state line you can get a ticket. So again, there's no rhyme or reason why the money of Alabama should have to be given to Georgia. I like Georgia, I used to live there, but I live in Alabama now. So there's no rhyme and reason why we cannot have a lottery. I don't really care about the casino gambling. I don't care about that. But the lottery thing, I mean, we are surrounded by people with lotteries. But we can't have one because the deacons and the preachers at the Baptist church says, well, we need that money because we need to build another church. I ain't mad at it. Sometimes you got to build another one, especially being in one for like 100 years. But tell me, yes, I saw a carload of people head to Georgia to buy lottery tickets. Okay, it's almost $500 million right now. I mean, does it make any sense to anybody why we will allow our money to go to Georgia? You're not going to stop people from buying lottery tickets, okay, because you think it's something that we don't need to do. We're going to buy lottery tickets, but it seems that our House of Representatives and our state, it just seems they don't have the intelligence to do it. I'm just saying, I think it's an issue of intelligence. I think that a lot of our folks who work in our legislature just are not that bright. I hate to say that, but I just think they're not that bright. I mean, how could you not be bright? And what I mean, it's basic math. Basic math. They got a lottery, they get our money. We don't have a lottery, but we still pay our money, which means that, like, who's our good friend who got killed a couple days ago, a month or so ago, John DeVoe used to say, well, it's about debit and credit. So right now we're on the debit side of the lottery conversation because we are giving our money. And then all the time, they're always talking about Here's another thing too. I don't care. I don't want a lottery for education. Education has $7.6 billion that goes into it. If you can't fund an education system with $7.6 billion, then somebody needs to be fired. All right? Seriously, somebody needs to be fired. All right. I'm just saying, and that's not even that money does not even go to private schools. So the private schools have to figure out how to fund their own self. At least that's what I'm understanding. I don't think we get. Do we get to send money, public school money to private schools if a kid goes to private school? I don't believe we do. I think they got to pay for that themselves, which they're paying for two school systems. They're paying for the school system that they're not going to, and they're paying for the school system that like we do. We pay for money for the public schools and with our taxes, and we pay for money for private school. So I don't know, but I just think I just think that our people are just not that bright. They can't be. You can't be bright and not come up with a lottery. Just a plain old lottery. You can't. You can't. All the. I mean, all the. So I guess the only thing these universities are actually good for is football and basketball. I'm thinking that's all they're really good for. That's why we go to college around here. We cannot go to college to understand how to do deductive reasoning. I mean, we can't go to school for that. So we must go to school around here in this state for football. Which you got a pretty good football team. Don't get me wrong. Alabama, roll tide. I'm with them. And go War Eagle. I'm not too much with the War Eagle thing, but I like them. As long as they're not playing Alabama or Notre Dame, I'm good. But it would seem like to me we have lost something in this process, and that is the ability to reason. So here's the one question I ask our legislators before they decide to put another fork into the whole conversation about lottery. Would a reasonable person give their money to another state when their state is in need? Again, would a reasonable person give money to another state rather than give money to their own state that they live in? Of course not. I mean, listen, Ray Charles could see that's right. Okay. But our legislators, okay, for some reason, cannot see that. They cannot see that because their intelligence is in question. Okay. The ones who vote against it, their intelligence is truly in question. Okay. I'm just saying, and maybe, hey, it's our fault. We keep voting for them. We keep voting for them. I don't care about the gambling thing, but I'm talking about the lottery. Okay. Would a reasonable person give money to another state when their state needs money? That's all I want to know. Because if a reason, and I can answer that question myself, a reasonable person would not do that. But that's okay. That's okay. So any fool that votes against the lottery, a clean lottery bill, then he's a fool. That's just what he is. It's not his fault. Must have been born that way. I don't know. Good morning. Yes.
Doing is devoting your time to telling the people to watch the vote and who's voting against their interests when it comes up this week. But aren't they supposed to bring it back to the floor this week?
Yeah, that's true. And I think we need to get rid of anybody that votes no. Just get rid of them. Yeah. Yeah, just get rid of them. I'll be watching that vote. Yeah. Yeah. And it's been too many years of running to Georgia, running to Mississippi to give them our money when we just leave our money here. So, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. I think it's time. Yeah, and I've known that to be true. I've known that to be true. Yeah.
interest have you voted to uplift Alabama? Because if you've done so much for Alabama, why is the state of mind that it's in now?
And that prison suit by Jim Ziegler, I think that's going to be heard this week, I believe. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't pay 30. Yeah.
And they give you money.
Absolutely. Got to take a break. We'll be back after that. I agree. Yeah, we need to look who votes against your interest on this bill. One last time. And after this, if you don't put them out of office, then you get what you deserve. We'll be back.
First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Good news. Everyone 12 and older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine. So if you're 12 and up, visit vaccines.gov to find vaccines near you. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable. Not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s. And then for Tuesday, more clouds than sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Oh, Montgomery near Monday, taking off just the way you like it. No major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area. Weather is perfect. Skies are blue. If you see something out there giving you trouble with traffic, simply contact us so we can pass that info along. We do appreciate everybody's help. 567-9000. That's the number to call MCS for an equity loan on your home, land, or auto. Good credit, slow credit, it doesn't matter. MCS in Wetumpka. NMLS 232876. Buckle up, front and back. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your auto maintenance and repair needs, Chico's knows. Chico's Auto Pros now offers a full-service automotive center. Call Chico's today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Do you know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you their precious metals investment guide. Get gold you can hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD. Do you know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you their precious metals investment guide. Get gold you can hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD.
I'm Aaron Tippett. I've been blessed to be able to make a living at what I love, making music for more than 25 years. But it didn't get there overnight. There were a lot of long days and nights of working just to make ends meet. Good things in life don't always come easy. But when you sweat for what you want, it makes it even sweeter when you get it. So remember to work hard, and when the opportunities present themselves, you got to be ready to grab them. This message is brought to you by the United States Air Force.
You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital, but miracles never come easy. That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Put your money where the miracles are. Support your Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
They are the two sexiest fat men alive. Ready, fine. And you can hear Rick and Bubba on News Radio 1440, beginning at 9 a.m. Depend on it.
Okay, I'm expecting a guest, but let me take this one call right quick before I get Arande. I think he's supposed to call us. Good morning, who's this? Hey, Rob, what's up?
The difference between gambling and lottery?
One, I think one, you absolutely know that you're only taking a chance, and one, you think you're gonna win. so yeah, they are games that, yes, they are, yeah. Alabama, our money. Well, that's true too. The citizens of it belongs to the citizens of Alabama, of course. Right, but I listen. I don't believe that the legislators and the lobbyists care one iota about us spending our money in Georgia, Mississippi, and places like that. I think all they want to do is manipulate us, make them think, and somebody's getting money on the back end side of this.
I'm not against lottery.
Uh-oh, I think I forgot my brother there. Hey, who's this? Rondé. John, Rob, sorry about that, my brother. Call me back later on. I hung up on a brother. Well, good morning, Councilman Rondé Mitchell.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
How are you doing? Okay. Listen, so what's going on? I mean, normally I got to reach out to the councilman, but you reached out to me, and I appreciate that.
Well, first of all, Kevin, the uptick in crime in Montgomery is at an all-time high. The city council, the mayor, and also the chief of police, we are doing everything within the scope of our power when it comes to the city council to have a strategic plan. We will be discussing some things in this upcoming city council meeting. My district especially, I'm in District 6, where Precinct 18 has seen a real uprising in crime. A lot of it comes from, I have so many apartment complexes in my district, and when the housing authority kind of closed down those subsidized housing, a lot of them migrated to my area. So we do have it, different areas are being in one set place, and it has kind of caused a disturbance. So I am doing everything I can. I'm meeting with my apartment complex manager every 3 months to see what's the issue, what can I do, because it is on private property. So when things come to private property, it's a great line about what money I can use for the taxpayer money on private property. So those are some of the issues that we are facing. But I am trying to combat that with a Montgomery basketball league. That league would target those individuals between the age of 13 to 18. And, you know, like I said, we're not excluding anybody. So whether you are a AB student, whether you are a CD student, or maybe you have actually dropped out of school, we are opening up this program to everybody. We have a youth development component in it. We have partnered with Coastal. We will partner with a lot of these mentoring programs to make sure that those participants and their families are getting the right service and being linked to the right organization so they can get the help that they need and whatever help that we can assist them with.
There is, listen, first of all, let me be clear. I know that you, the police chief, the mayor, any city council member cannot stand guard on people's houses on every block in Montgomery in order to ensure that crime doesn't happen, because most crimes are crimes of passion, and a lot of times there's no indication that those things are going to happen. Now, having said that, everybody who runs for office gets in office by saying we want to do something about crime. So the question I have for you, who's responsible for this environment that allows this crime to fester the way it is? And is the city council in any way responsible? Because after all, you guys, I don't know if you was on there during the last budget talk, but you guys allow the budget of the police department to be stripped a little bit, a little bit over $2 million. Now that's a lot of policemen that we could have if we put that money. And I know it went to cultural affairs, and I'm all for cultural affairs. It means a lot of things, and that's good. We're great. But if the culture is all screwed up, then forget cultural affairs. We need money in that budget for it. So whose great idea was it? And the mayor could put it in there, that's fine. But you guys are the vanguards of the appropriation of the money that goes to these different departments. So whose great idea was it to cut the police budget?
That, you know, every city council person is an advocate. We are an advocate against fighting crime, but at the time we did reduce every department 10% due to COVID. You know, the budget is produced by taxes, by rental tax, by lodging taxes. So in 2020, all of that was down across the board. But also, you're talking about, yeah, we cut them, but they are down probably 100 police officers. So your budget is going to really reflect your department. So if you're down 100 officers, your budget don't need to be exceeding what the actual number that you have. So we kind of based it on the actual number that the police department had at that time, and also that we cut every department across the board due to COVID.
Well, now I heard the mayor say we didn't lay anybody off on the say. But again, if I'm living in a house, there's certain bills that we got to keep up no matter what money I got. I won't pay my light bill and I won't pay my rent. Okay, the police department, especially during COVID, with everybody at home and nobody knows what's going on, we need a police department. I mean, it is tantamount that we have a police department at full force, especially during times of that. You disagree?
So, we are combining a lot of things, and on top of that, what's going on in Montgomery. So if you was a police officer and you say, hey, you know what, I can go to a smaller county, make less money, but have less to deal with, and be able to drive my car home every day, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to even go to that smaller county. So we're trying to not only fight with the crime, but we're fighting other counties to keep our officers here. Where city council will talk about on the next budget meeting, how can we ensure that our officers and sanitation is paid what they need to be paid so we can retain.
Well, it seems like to me that since we have the best trained, the best equipped policemen in the state of Alabama, that maybe we're really doing them a disservice by not paying them for going through that train. I mean, again, we pay politicians $49,000 a year to work half a day for 3 days a week during 3 months. and we paying a policeman. Yeah. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the state legislators. We paying everybody good money, but the people that seem to go out there every day and put their butts on the line, we need more police officers in this city. And if that means cutting the budget on somebody else, so be it. We need more police officers, and they need to be at a minimum of $40,000. I mean, just at a minimum. Right. Now I'm about to ask you a question. I know you're not going to answer it, but yeah, I'll put it forward to you anyway. Does Montgomery need a new police chief? Mm. Mm-hmm. But I will say one thing. Okay, every whatever environment we have in Montgomery, where people think that they possibly can get away with shooting in people's cars, shooting in people's homes. I mean, somebody is responsible for this environment that we live in, that people think they can get away with this kind. I mean, somebody's responsible. Well, and I went, but you can, but Aronde, and again, I think you're just the guy who happens to be here right now on the phone with me, and I appreciate you coming in. So I'm not hitting you hard. It's not for you, but you're part of that arm. I have to tell you, why is it that we don't get all this stuff out and win late? Mm-hmm. 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 I noticed in the paper. I noticed in the paper yesterday that Hyundai is getting ready to invest over $1 billion because we're supposed to be making some electric cars in Montgomery, which is great. Um, we One of the things that cause young men in this city to be unemployable, I think it's crazy, is not having a driver's license because years and years ago they was driving around without a driver's license, uh, constantly and continuously, on multiple times they get caught, they get a ticket. Isn't it time we allow those people, if they somehow can find a way to pass a driver's test, to forgive all the stupid tickets down there? You're never going to get that money. Isn't it time we have a program that allows go through a certain program, whatever, and let these young men get their driver's license legitimately and give them a fair shot? Because they got to have driver's license around here, even if they're not going to drive on the people's job. They want a driver's license. And a lot of these guys are stuck downtown, in that it's a circle that it's never going to end well for them. Isn't it time that the city of Montgomery forgives that and allow these people to get a shot at getting their driver license? Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I asked Todd, and Todd said it's got something to do with the judicial system. But I thought all the municipal court comes under the well, it comes under the judicial branch. But I thought the mayor is the top head cheese on top of that, and he can pretty much say, if we're going to do away with it, let's do away with it. But it's just one of the things. We got too much promise in Montgomery to let it go all out the window because young people have made mistakes like we all have. Some of us got caught, some of us didn't. And they need a break. I know you had a past, and we are a better city because you had that past, and you're a better man for it. So I believe that some of our young folks who made mistakes also better people for it. But if every time they get on the road, because they got to drive, you got to go to work. I mean, you got to, and they get stopped, it's another ticket on top of another ticket. I just think it's something we need to. We got a lot of problems. It's no small thing that Hyundai is willing to put $1 billion into an expansion of their facilities here to make electric. That's a big deal. And I'm just thinking maybe we ought to do all we can rather than bringing employees in to Montgomery. We need to do something with the people that we have in Montgomery so they can gainful employment. I'm proud of Montgomery, but we do it. And again, if everybody who runs for public office says I want to do something about crime and crime gets worse, is it your fault? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. 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 Right, right. Hmm. Well, listen, I'm glad you learned about that platitude stuff. Whoever told you the right thing. Uh, because when you run for office, I want to do something about crime. Yeah. I don't expect you to say I want more crime. So it's a platitude, but some platitudes do have merit. But only if you put something in order to deal with the current situation. What else is going on and good in Montgomery? Are y'all working on this year's budget yet? Okay. Uh, and are we going to increase the police department's budget? Yeah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody called the police department yesterday, called me up and said they didn't have enough officers to send anybody out to their place of the occurrence at that particular moment. That's a dangerous situation to be in, Councilman. If you call the police and they don't have enough people. Well, okay. Yeah.
How can we address it? How can we fix it? Or how can we help? So that's why I tell my folks, don't hesitate to call me, email me, hit me on Facebook, because I want to know what's going on in my district and see how I can help.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for always being, you're always out there. I want to thank you. And we don't have to agree on everything, but I do appreciate you always being available to come on this show, anybody in town, anybody calls you to, you're always willing out there. And to me, that's half the battle. Let me know that you're at least listening to us as the people who pay all the high taxes around here. And I appreciate it. Keep up the good work, my friend. And but now, when I start chopping on that boot tape, sometimes you you'll be. It ain't personal. It's just business. All right. Appreciate it, Councilman Aranda. Appreciate it. Gotta take a break. We'll be back.
Underground and in the sky, animals and birds who live.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Good news. Everyone 12 and older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine. So if you're 12 and up, visit vaccines.gov to find vaccines near you. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable. Not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s. And then for Tuesday, more clouds than sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Good news continues. Still no major problems or accidents being reported to send you on an alternate route. Traffic slowing down a little bit on the Alabama River Bridge southbound on I-65. Just keep your eyes open for that. Prepare to brake. Outside of that, we're looking good. Invisible Fence is the system to keep your pet safe and at home. But the professional training by Vicky makes all the difference. Call Vicky at Invisible Fence, 265-2585. That's 265-2585. Buckle up, front and back. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your auto maintenance and repair needs, Chico's knows. Chico's Auto Pros now offers a full-service automotive center. Call Chico's today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Montgomery's most trusted shop for auto, paint, body, and mechanical repair. It's got to be McGriff. McGriff Auto Service also does oil changes and other routine maintenance, including warranty inspections. And they're still offering pickup within a 10-mile radius on Bell Street in Montgomery. McGriff.
Imagine your family enjoying their brand new outdoor living space this spring and summer. Then call Genesis Renovations and get started now with a free estimate. 334-462-6413. Genesis Renovations can deliver a premier deck, a one-of-a-kind pergola or gazebo, or any type of wood fencing project you have in mind. Comfort, beauty, and satisfaction at the fairest of prices guaranteed. Serving the River region and Lake Martin. Genesis Renovations. 334-462-6413 and online at gen-corp.org.
Hey, Montgomery, Prattville, and surrounding areas, we want to buy your car. Matt Parsley here with Budget Car and Truck Sales. These last few months have been crazy busy, and we're having a hard time buying enough cars to stock the lot. So if you have a car, truck, van, or SUV, and you're thinking about selling it and want a quick, easy way to do it, stop by the dealership and let me make you an offer. We buy all makes and models, so no matter what you have, we can be a buyer for it. And if we come to an agreement on it, I'll give you a check on the spot.
Let me see, it takes money.
And you want to sell it, it's no problem. We'll simply pay off the bank and give you a check for the difference. Maybe you're on the fence about selling a vehicle because you're not sure what you can get for it. We can help there too. Just swing in the dealership and we'll do an appraisal on the vehicle completely free. So let's help each other, Montgomery and Prattville. If you want to sell your vehicle, we want to buy it. Sounds like a perfect match to me. And as always, if you're looking to purchase a nicer, newer car, truck, or van, or SUV, we'd be honored to be your dealership. We are the people's car dealer. Budget Car and Truck Sales, 61 Mendel Parkway, Montgomery, or 508 McQueen Smith Road, Prattville. Visit us online at buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com.
Do you know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease, or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you their precious metals investment guide. Get gold you can hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
I know that it's just not enough.
Okay, well, I appreciate Randy coming on. It'd be nice if we get all the city councilmen to make a phone call once a month for their particular district, just to tell us what's going on and find out. But I don't ever think there's a reason to cut the police budget. I don't think, the main job, safety, the streets, and sanitation. I don't think there's ever a reason to cut those budgets because you still got to have police. And I just don't think that was a good to cut them almost $3 million. That's a lot of policemen. I don't think that's a smart move. But then again, I'm not the mayor and I'm not the city council, because the city council, the mayor can suggest cutting whatever he wants to. It's up to the city council to determine whether or not it's a valid and a reasonable thing to do. So I don't know why we cut. We should not cut. Everybody's whining about the police. And if we do have the best, if our police officers come here to be trained and then they go other places, it would just seem like to me, maybe we're not paying them enough. If we got the best training, then we ought to pay them commensurate with their training. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. Maybe we just, every police officer ought to make at least $40,000 a year to start. I just think that's, you can live on $40,000. If you can't, you're doing something too wrong. Okay. Anyway, we'll be back. Uno momento. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Momento. All right. And again, I want to thank all the folks for the birthday greetings yesterday on my Facebook page. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Monday. We're finding some breaking news from Coosa County, where officials found a body face down in the water in Pink Creek. That's near Hidden Valley community. No word on who it is or if foul play is suspected. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. State investigators looking into a Sunday shooting that injured 4 police officers in Birmingham. The officers were serving a search warrant to a suspect who was wanted in shooting. The investigation started earlier that morning when police responded to a shooting at a park where a man and woman were both shot and killed. All 4 officers are expected to recover. Police ended up killing the suspect. Officials with the nation's largest gas pipeline, which was hit by a ransomware cyber attack last week, say they're back to normal operations now. The Colonial Pipeline says it's now delivering millions of gallons of fuel every hour. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says about 200 gas stations returning to service every hour, and things should be back to normal by sometime later this morning. That's your news on this Monday morning. I'm Judd Davis for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440, the home of Sean Hannity.
What makes America great are its people.
WLWI AM and 95.1.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Israeli warplanes unleashed a series of heavy airstrikes on Gaza as fighting with the Islamic militant group Hamas entered its second week. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb is in East Jerusalem.
Despite the enormous devastation across Gaza, Hamas is continuing its rocket campaign against Israel, causing damage in the southern Israeli town of Ashkelon.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. has asked Israel for justification for the bombing that took out an office tower in Gaza, housing the AP and Al Jazeera.
Palestinians and Israelis, like people everywhere, have the right to live in safety and security. This is not an Israeli privilege or a Palestinian privilege. It's a human right. And the current violence has ripped it away.
A blockbuster deal just announced between 2 media giants.
AT&T will combine its media business that includes CNN, HBO, TNT, TBS, and Warner Brothers Studios with Discovery, the owner of the Food Network, and HGTV. The $43 billion deal calls for AT&T to shed its media assets and create a standalone media company. The deal to give up its media business is a major reversal by AT&T, which bought Time Warner for $85 billion in 2018. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Fully vaccinated Americans are still mixed on following new CDC guidelines on unmasking. Brown University's Dr. Ashish Jha tells CBS this morning.
I have friends over who are fully vaccinated. I don't wear a mask. I've gotten rid of masks in a lot of places. I certainly don't want to wear one outside. But indoor grocery stores, that kind of place, I'm still doing it for a little bit longer.
A COVID crisis is growing overseas. Correspondent Vicky
why they cut the police department's budget.
The COVID variant first identified in India are more than doubling in some areas each week. The Army's being deployed to help with vaccinations, and massive testing is underway to try to track and hopefully slow its spread.
Just in from South Carolina, Governor McMaster has signed a bill into law forcing death row inmates to choose between a firing squad and the electric chair when lethal injections aren't available. Severe floodings left many families in Salina, Kansas homeless. Valerie Lindenberger says her daughter was asleep in the basement.
It was like we were trying to plug the Titanic after hitting the iceberg, and all of a sudden the window just went and the water just came gushing in.
About half of U.S. workers are still doing their jobs from home, but a new Gallup poll finds the numbers vary depending on job type. With 72% of white-collar workers still remote, only 14% of blue-collar employees at home desks. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news with our team of reporters around the country
and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Yeah, I never got into girls softball.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it too. Right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of Cobra plans, for instance, and MediShare is the affordable alternative to health insurance. A typical family saves $500 a month. You might save even more. MediShare is a Christian community that shares each other's healthcare costs, and because of the current economic situation, they're making it easier than ever. Apply by May 30th, and you can save an additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have, and start saving. Here it is. Call 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
A pop star is raising money for charity on her birthday. The outfit Janet Jackson wore in the Scream music video opposite her brother Michael is just one of more than 1,000 items selling at auction in California. Julian's Auction says her famous black bubble top with black patent leather pants and boots raked in $125,000. The singer's selling items spanning her decades-long career for her 55th birthday. A portion of the proceeds will go towards Compassion International, an organization that helps children escape poverty. Monica Ricks, CBS News. He made headlines when he was 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Damon Weaver, and I'm here at the White House to interview President Obama about education.
Damon went on to interview NBA star Dwayne Wade and Oprah. His sister says Weaver died earlier this month at the age of 23 of natural causes. His Instagram page says he won a full scholarship to Albany State University. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Since 1968, Montgomery residents have trusted Bill Red. When something breaks, it's about giving you back the comfort and security of your home as quickly as possible. For plumbing, heating, and air conditioning concerns, really, come fix your home. Bill Red, the River Region's only certified room dealer. Certificate number 84449.
That big trip will be here before you know it, but without a working transmission, you aren't going anywhere. Head to the #1 transmission shop in Alabama, Allen Robbins Transmission. Allen Robbins staff can fix any problems you may have. They also service clutches, differentials, and transfer cases. These uncertain times have some concerns, but Allen Robbins is prepared. They're still open and have taken all necessary precautions to keep customers and employees safe and healthy. Allen Robbins Transmission in Prattville. Call 365-3352.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials. The president is going to have to stand fast. The Ben Shapiro Show. They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
And though I make mistakes, I'll never break your heart. And I swear.
And good morning, and good morning again, everyone. Hope this day finds you well. Hope you had a great yesterday and a greater today. Hopefully the world is treating you fairly, at least kindly. Good morning. I'm Kevin Elkins. The number's here at 860-1440. Want to give us a call? Mr. Boyd, I didn't see that message about the review board. I should have certainly went to after that. With so many things to ask for. But as soon as we got an engineer coming in today, and sometime this week, and we're going to get the phone thing so I can start taking phone calls on the phone with that. So we got a new engineer, so hopefully he will knock this out of the park for me. Good morning, Chief. There's a couple of things the legislature is going to deal with today, of this last day. At least they think they are anyway. But one of the bills that bothers me more than anything, more than the lottery, more than the thing, is this bill that would prohibit gender-affirming treatments for transgender minors. Absolutely, it's a crime against nature. Now, if you're 18 years old, 19 years old, and you want to be stupid and take pills that make you think that you are a girl, or think you are a guy and you were born a female or male, Listen, that's up to you. You're grown. Grown people can do stupid things. But anything under that, and let's just face it, folks, if you're crazy, you'll be at 17, you'll be crazy at 18 and 19. So at that point, if you want to decide to do that, understanding the full consequences of it, fine. But to let a parent, because they felt bad because they wanted a boy, and now they're going to take their little girl and try to turn her into a boy, or they got a girl and they really wanted a boy, so now we're going to give them all kinds of drugs so they can at least think they're a boy. Okay, the stupidity of this. There are some states that already say, "Oh hell, no, we're not going to do that." Florida is one of them. I love me some Governor DeSantis down in Florida. I love that guy. He seems to be one of the few governors that actually has a set on them and knows what they're for. They're for men to be men. Okay, I like this guy. I meant to vote for him if Trump don't run. But there's just something wrong with that idea. So we got to take our children now and try to change them, which we cannot. Chromosomes say you cannot change them. If you were born a male, you will be a male until the day you die. If you were born a female, you'll be a female until the day. Just because you can make them seem like they got some breast diseases, they are still a male. As a matter of fact, they are mentally deranged people who want to change their sex. Okay, I'm just saying something's wrong with them. Okay, good morning. Yes.
Money is my military. Each soldier is a dollar. I never send my money into battle unprepared and underfunded. Kevin O'Leary. Nobody, it seems, is immune to criticism. How in the world do you criticize a Jeff Bezos? $200 billion. He bought a yacht for $500 million.
Well, that's what money's for. That's what money's for, to buy the things you want. Well, he isn't above criticism. I mean, everybody, and he probably did because everybody's shopping at home. I know I did a lot of shopping at home in the last year rather than going to stores. Mm. Mm.
Blacks in this country. And George Washington did his final address in a black establishment. It was a Willett, and I asked my cousin in D.C. to check that out to see whether or not Willett was black. Tocqueville said he was black, and they're only going to let a black person get so big in this country. Does anybody know what happened to Calhoun?
Mr. Calhoun passed. He passed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to those. No, no, I don't.
Because they had a valiant cross. They had a tremendous article in the newspaper on him yesterday, and they got about 30 students, and they're doing real well with a minimum.
Mm. I said, okay. Mm. Yeah. Okay, that's up to you. Mm. All righty, appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Doing fine. Yeah, yeah, do that.
I was going to tell you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My first place of work, now I'm headed to my second real quick. But I don't know if he's listening. He made me mighty. I mean, he gave you and I'm telling you, he learned to debate, or what a part of his debate, from me when I was his teacher. And I wanted to see if there was a podcast, because I want to play that for my kids to see how, so to show them how they could be using it in the future.
Mm.
So I just wanted to tell you how proud of him. He gave you a good debate.
I mean, he gave a good answer. He didn't BS me. He just, he learned something about that word platitude. Some talk show host told him years ago that enough of that.
Those apartments that they seem to be having the most problems. Honestly, I actually lived in it. And then I was living in Regis Park. That's where I was growing up. But he said a lot of truth, but we do have the fact that they're going to work on it, and they're going to sit around the table and talk about what they can do, as far as incentives, because like he talked to you about the retention level of policemen, they probably would prefer Western going to a smaller county with less people. And the fact that it's on the table to talk about it, I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I just think though, to cut the police budget at a time, that doesn't sync with me. Yeah.
But look at what's going on about the country with police. My son, my oldest, graduated in criminal justice, and I thank God he did go into the police force, because as a mother, I might be very afraid. I would be. I mean, the tone that people are sending across the country on police, money's not great, and I just feel like they're walking into areas that, I wish I had an answer as to like what your question was. What has made how did we get to this? You can't blame it on the chief. You can't. I mean,
No, you can't. But you can. Again, if you're the manager of McDonald's and your people may not show up for work, there may be equipment failures. But I'm going to tell you, if you don't make a change in that McDonald's, you won't be there, regardless of what your excuses are.
I remember last night went out to Cracker Barrel. He was upset at service, and I looked at how many tables that poor waiter was waiting on. You can't people because of desperate from it. They don't want to work. But you have that are work.
Well, I can't hear you. You're gone. Okay. Well, and I hear what you're saying. We can't hear your phone. I hear what you're saying, but I still say that if you are in charge of something, regardless, nobody wants to hear the excuses. We just don't. Okay. Well, don't know what happened there, but nobody wants to hear the excuses. Okay, Joe didn't show up. Bubba, Leroy, they didn't come to work. Then you wait tables, or at least close the door. At least if you open the business, okay, if you open the business, then you must be prepared to do the work. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah, but I heard you, I hear what you were saying. But again, like I said, if you open the doors, then maybe the manager and everybody else ought to be prepared to work, because we're going to hold you responsible, regardless if Leroy came to work or not. Well, your phone keeps going someplace, and maybe it's just about time because I got to take a break anyway. So we'll be back. Uno momento. Everybody disagree with me out there? 860-1440. If you open your business for business, the customer should not really know that Joe didn't show up for work. We'll be back.
Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Good news. Everyone 12 and older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine. So if you're 12 and up, visit vaccines.gov to find vaccines near you. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable. Not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s. And then for Tuesday, more clouds than sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Your 8 o'clock hour kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate system still moving smoothly into and through the Tri-County area. Looking at your traffic flow map, heavy traffic slow 65 southbound from the Northern Boulevard back to Cusada. So please use caution and be prepared for that. You see something giving you trouble? Safely contact us. We'll pass the info along. If you're looking for a pickup or SUV, they're at Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter, and you're going to save some money. Hurry before the selection is gone. Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter. Buckle up. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your auto maintenance and repair needs, Chico's knows. Chico's Auto Pros now offers a full-service automotive center. Call Chico's today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Good morning. I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Monday. We're finding some breaking news from Coosa County, where officials found a body face down in the water in Pink Creek. That's near Hidden Valley community. No word on who it is or if foul play is suspected. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. State investigators looking into a Sunday shooting that injured 4 police officers in Birmingham. The officers were serving a search warrant to a suspect.
Nothing I can say, nothing I can do. I can't blame you. What you doing to me, girl?
Officials
Even though not hurry.
hit by a ransomware cyber attack last week say they're back to normal operations now. The Colonial Pipeline says it's now delivering millions of gallons of fuel every hour. Energy Secretary Jennifer Grenham says about 200 gas stations are returning to service every hour. Things should be back to normal by sometime later this morning. That's your news on this Monday morning. I'm Jed Davis, WSFA 12 News.
It's a podcast about money, but Stacking Benjamins not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
Our second headline, the average 401k savings rate, will it really fund retirement?
No. Easy.
Done. And that's our second headline. I'm exhausted after that one. Experts recommend socking away at least 10% of your salary, but a recent report suggests many Americans are short of that benchmark.
Just a bit outside.
Listen and subscribe to Stacking Benjamins on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
Montgomery and Prattville. Matt Worsley here from Budget Car and Truck Sales. Did you miss me? I've been wondering, if you miss a payment on a Tesla, does it drive itself back to the bank? So if you hate the car you're driving, is your current payment too much? Do you owe too much on your trade? Come see me and spring into savings. I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. No matter who you bought it from, no matter how much you owe, I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. Better yet, you could buy with just $1 down. $1 down. And if your credit doesn't shine, you're gonna be fine. My perfect payment plan works, and it helps you drive a car you love with a payment you can afford. $4,000 more for your trade-in, a car you love, and drive a car with just $1 down. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Did you miss us? I'm Matt Parsley. I'm your dealer for the people. See all these rides at our new website, buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Jeff Rankin with Chappie's Deli. Mike, listen.
Hi, Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli. Jeff, what is that?
It's the Chappie's Deli Grill. Let's do a commercial about grilled onions.
Grilled onions? Oh, yeah. People will be knocking the doors down to come in for that.
It's psychology, Gramps. It's a subtle message that tells a story.
Jeff, we can't do a Chappie's Deli commercial only about grilled onions.
Mike, it tells everyone 2 things. Number 1, we cook on real grills at Chappie's Deli. No better flavor.
You will find a grill master at each Chappie's. Big difference between a Chappie's Deli grilled Reuben versus a microwave or steamed.
And number 2, where else can you get grilled onions on a sandwich?
Yep, that's what Chappie's Deli is all about. You want something special? Just ask. So come to Chappie's Deli, Perry Hill, Peppertree, Prattville, Baptist South Towers, and Auburn for some psychology.
No.
Oh yeah, the onions.
No, Gramps, the grill. The grill.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, we're back. We're back. We're rolling. We're rolling here. A couple other things. Looking at Damascus, one of the things the legislature had to do with, now I don't quite get this one. Lawmakers are weighing a pause and an upcoming requirement for 3rd graders to pass a reading test before moving on to the 4th grade. Now I don't really see anything wrong with that, actually. Don't we want the kids to be able to read before they pass to the 4th grade? I'm just saying. Matter of fact, somebody told me if you're not reading by the 3rd grade, the chances of you being a comprehensive reader later on is not good. I don't know why we want to even mess with that. I mean, but I guess it isn't going into effect yet. But now that's something that's good for everybody. I mean, I don't know. What say you? I mean, if you can't read in the 3rd grade, I mean, what do you read in the 3rd grade? What, Jack and Jill ran up the hill and fetched a pail of water, and Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after him? Then it came up with Jack, Jill, and okay, never mind. I don't know how that works. I forgot what reading in the 3rd grade consisted of. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah.
Atlas Road.
Yeah, good morning.
It's a 22-mile marker this morning. You started to come in, and I heard you pushing the lottery. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Have they separated the lottery from the unregulated casino?
Well, again, that's what that's where we. But again, I don't know if they've. I'm just for the lottery. I'm just for the lottery. Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't have a vote. I don't have a. I mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A talk show yesterday, and the host said, "I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for this." There's about 15 minutes left in the program, and he put something on the table that I have yet to hear, going all the way back to when South Carolina did away with their video poker. We were trying to get it here because it was destroying the economy. Those casinos. Now, this is the case scenario, and if you people in the legislature are listening, if Kevin will let me put this out, this is for you. If that is put on the ballot and is voted down, the only casinos left in Alabama. And this is the sweet revenge, all you Dixiecrat Republicans that are relying on a default vote from the people in the minority community, because they're going to go out and vote for that lottery. And they're going to put your casino bill in there. And that's the end of all of our communities. But if you put it on the ballot and it's voted down, McGregor, Green Track, and some of these other casinos will be the only ones, not casinos, dog tracks will be the only legal gaming in Alabama. And that's McGregor's revenge from his grave. Put it on the ballot and let's vote it down, y'all. That's my comment.
All righty then. It is 8:28 in the morning for those who care. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Ed. I am fine. Yes, I do.
Pastors and priests and prophets and all, how they forgetting about what's going on, like crime and everything else. They all want to be popular. They all greedy for money. Read Michael Clem when you change. He really puts it down about these preachers and the prophets and the priests. It's about money. People, instead of telling people the truth, they won't tell people how good they look or how famous they are or whatever. And the crime is not mentioned. You know what's going on. And that was way back down years ago. That'd be a long time ago. But what happened a long time ago, you can see it now, like hate and money. Like hate and money. Jesus Christ was hate for money. Long time ago, okay? But my point is right now, look at Jeremiah mentioned about, look at our community. The pastor, he said, he said some pastors have destroyed, polluted my people. Destroyed, polluted my people. And look at our community being destroyed by some. These are all now. I heard some good preaching yesterday. I mean some powerful preaching. But the point is, you're going to have more to tell the people the truth. People that don't want to hear the truth, Kevin. They just don't want to hear the truth. They go around all around the world. Why?
You may be right, Mr. Ed, but I got to take a break. But you may be right. We'll be back.
It hurts so much inside. Now she'll go away.
First alert weather forecast.
Oh,
News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Good news. Everyone 12 and older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine. So if you're 12 and up, visit vaccines.gov to find vaccines near you. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Partly cloudy skies through the first half of the day will give way to mostly cloudy skies for the second half of the day. So more clouds than sun this afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm, just a touch below average, around 84 degrees. The humidity will still be in check. Tonight, comfortable Not as cool as this morning. We're down into the 60s. And then for Tuesday, more clouds and sun again, around 84. And we heat on up for the rest of the week, upper 80s by the end of the week.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. The good news continues. Still no major problems or accidents have been reported to send you on an alternate route. Traffic thinning out on 65 southbound coming out of Prattville Millbrook. That's also good news. You keep listening, we'll keep you posted. 567-9000. That's the number to call. MCS, refinance your home mortgage, get cash back, or to get pre-approved to buy. MCS in Wetumpka, NMLS 232876. Buckle up, it's the law. From Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your auto maintenance and repair needs, Chico's knows. Chico's Auto Pros now offers a full-service automotive center. Call Chico's today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Ron's Roofing knows that when a storm damages your roof, it's hard to know what to do next. Easy. Rely on the most trusted and recognized roofing name, Ron's Roofing. They'll help protect you from the next storm. Ron's Roofing understands that your roof is your home's first line of defense. That's why they work with all insurance companies to ensure that your home is protected from any unexpected storms. A job won't get the Ron's Roofing name on it unless it's done right. Visit ronsroofing.com or call 215-0070.
Do you know that about 20% of all U.S. dollars were created in 2020? Yeah, most people don't know that. What do you think the effect of all those newly printed dollars will lead to? Inflation? Maybe. It certainly will lead to the dollar becoming more valuable. In the past, people have purchased gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. That's because gold and silver have increased in value as the purchasing power of the dollar decreases. Buying real gold and silver, the kind you can hold in your hands, is much easier than you think. You can have it delivered securely or privately to your home, or even put real gold and silver in your IRA or 401k. If you are at all concerned about the value of the dollar continuing to decrease or the risk of inflation, you should call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group sells real gold and silver for the lowest prices possible. Call 833-928-GOLD. They will answer all your questions and send you their precious metals investment guide. Get gold you can hold, or get real gold in your IRA or 401k today. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-928-GOLD.
I love being a part of Action Team. It helps me help other people. It helps me feel good.
Being a part of a team always feels good. Go for it. Don't even hesitate.
For more than a decade, Major League Baseball players and action teams of high school students have been working together to train and inspire the next generation of volunteers.
Once you get there and realize how much you can change someone's life, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Just that simple act that takes 5 or 10 minutes of your time is making a difference and is transforming someone else's life.
All-stars Giancarlo Stanton and Chris Capuano join action team captains to make a difference in their communities, and you can too.
Just try it. Just go to one event, one action team event.
If we all show up together, that's what it's all about. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
It's been incredibly rewarding for me. It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you to be a part of this.
For more information, go to actionteam.org.
For most of Alabama, ticks and mosquitoes are more abundant from late spring to early fall. If you spend time outdoors or have pets that go outside, you need to be aware of the diseases they can carry to help protect yourself and your family. Prevention is key in safeguarding against tick and mosquito-borne diseases. For more information and tips on how to protect you and your family from these pests, visit our website at alabamapublichealth.gov. Again, visit our website at alabamapublichealth.gov.
The Rush Limbaugh Show.
And these people look absolutely pathetic.
After Rick and Bubba, it's the EIB Network at 11 a.m. And it's only on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
And we're back. It is 8:37 in the morning on this Monday morning. As a matter of fact, so whatever on your mind, good morning to my Facebook live people over there. Somebody said I ought to talk to you guys more often. Now, let's see now. Anything over there worth talking about? Nah. Well, about the graduation. A lot of folks graduating this week, I guess. I hope they don't think they did anything, though, because they're just graduating. This is just the beginning. Graduating is what you're supposed to do. Okay. Good morning. Yes. Now when you say murder, do you mean somebody was premeditatedly killed in the VA? Mm, okay. Mm, hmm I want. Wait a minute. My question is, why do we keep trying to fix yesterday today? I'm all for naming any new schools, whatever you want to name them. But what does that do with all the people that went to Lee years ago, could care less about why the school was named after, who was named after? All they know is that it's a school that they attended, they graduated from, their diploma has that school on it. So we keep trying to fix yesterday today. It's not going to happen. Well, and again, I I hear you. But wait a minute. So we're going to pay $75,000 to the historical society so we can change the name. Don't you think there are a lot of people in Montgomery that could use a little help with that $75,000? Is that renaming the school? Okay. Okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. No, no, yeah, I didn't go to school, but again, we keep trying to fix yesterday, today. We can't. Okay. Well, let me ask you something. Let's say they change the name, which obviously they seem like they're going to do, and we still get a subpar education out of it. Okay. We, I didn't say that. We are old, but we say a couple good things twice a day. Yeah. But anyway, all right. Appreciate your call. I think the $75,000 to give somebody to change a name and not the contents of a school. So obviously we got a lot of people around here with extra money, and so all summer long, all last year, we talk about we can't get computers, we can't get this, we can't get that. There are people going hungry, and all that kind of stuff. What I like to, if we had $75,000, why can't we buy a house and fix it up for some of these homeless folks around here and call it the homeless hotel or something. I don't know, but make a real difference with that money. That money is going to go in the coffers of the state of Alabama or the historical society, whoever they are, and nothing's going to change for the folks that go to that school because they changed the name. Nothing's going to change. Nothing. The only thing we're going to do is tick off a lot of people who went to that school, who could care less about who Robert E. Lee was or who Jefferson Davis was. All they know is they went to Jefferson Davis High School or they went to Lee. And now they're going to look up one day when they try to find their school and they will not be able to find it. So, yeah, I just think we keep trying to fix yesterday today. I don't get it. Good morning. Yes.
School changing the names, not the content. I was at a function this weekend with a whole bunch of folks from Signal and Near, and they contribute to band uniforms and other things because they love that school. And I don't know if that's going to happen anymore if they change the name. And if they got plenty of money to spend on changing the names, then they don't need other folks' money to buy band uniforms and other things that folks contribute to.
And I would tell you right now, if they'd have sent out a letter saying we need new band uniforms, we need this and that, you wouldn't have got the money. But to change a name, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
He was not a military leader. He was not someone. So why can't you reach a compromise and say, okay, we'll change the other two, but because Lanier was the oldest school in the city, we're going to leave the poets and let them have their name. But just another reason that people don't want to contribute to the school system, because you're going to spend $70,000 on name changes. And go ahead, just make them all the same. Or what about 20 years ago or 30 years ago? And this is what we were talking about this weekend. If somebody walked in and said, look, we want all the schools to be the same, and we want to change Booker T. Washington and Carver to building number 45.
That's right. They surely would. Yeah. And I got to tell you, John Adams, which is high school I went to in South Bend, Indiana. If they talked about changing the name of John Adams now, I don't like driving up the freeway, but I'd be running up that freeway right now, and I would be protesting that. That's my school. That's where I grew up a little bit, and that's where all the great memories and some of the bad ones with girls happened. But to change the name of that school, nah, I wouldn't want to see that happen. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but we keep trying to change yesterday today. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, appreciate it. Not going to happen. And that's what keeps all of this racism and all of this division, divisiveness over. We keep trying to change yesterday today. It will not ever happen unless you're like Superman and you turn the world backwards. Good morning. Fine.
Just sitting here thinking about all the Kevins I know, man. I know Kevin Moses, Kevin Graham, Kevin Tolliver, and Kevin Elton. Your mama named you after a white guy, huh?
Well, weren't we all? I mean, weren't we all named after the white guy? It looks like they want to change Lanier, they want to change Jeff Davis, and they want to change Lee. Because they say those guys were with the Confederate Army and all that stuff, and so yeah. Well, George Washington had some, slaves. His wife did anyway. I mean, but I don't want to change Washington High School in South Bend. Hey, it was what it was. Yeah. Mm. All right. They're crazy as hell out there, aren't they? Aren't they crazy out there? Oh, okay. Now San Diego is a different place. Yeah, beautiful city. Last time I was there, beautiful city. Yeah, I love the water. I got on the USS Kitty Hawk out there. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Midway. Mm. Mm. Right. Right. Yeah, we used to go down there and train with the. We used to go down there and train with the Navy guys down there. I know the Rangers, the Tab Rangers would go down there and do a little R&R, a little SEER training with the SEALs. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie and say I did. I didn't do that. I could have did it though. I could have did. Yeah, I'd have been a bad mother hubber. But I had to go cook them biscuits. So all right. Appreciate you too, man. Yeah, I had to go down and cook them biscuits with the folks on the ship. So they wouldn't let me go play with the Navy SEALs. But okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I couldn't have made it through Navy SEAL training. I just couldn't have did it. The water thing. It's the water thing. Anything else though, but the water, I'd have handled it. Good morning. All right then. Good morning. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I never seen so many white folks in my life because I just came out to get told that the new project like for my court. When white folk had the power in Obamacare, they did what the hell they wanted to do. And it was accepted by everybody. Look at the state of Alabama and all these red states. They changing laws because they got the number to do it. And we can't just never sit back and take it. Montgomery has the number to right some wrongs, but everybody wants to compromise. Everybody say what they're doing is wrong. I said, hell, wait. If you got the number, do what you got to do and get it over with.
Does change it? No, and I'm with you, but let me ask something. Does change? We keep trying to change yesterday. Mm-hmm. What's it going to do for us? Okay. So how does it benefit us? Yes. Uh, but it's a historical issue. Well, I'll see if we will. Okay, I'll see if you'll pay it. 8:52 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this? Yeah, I got that too late. Yeah, I don't know if they have the. I don't know if they have the numbers or not. I don't know because. Well, yeah. I mean, you would think, but they don't want it. Mm. Yeah. Mm. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, who's Roger Thornton? Sent me a message a few minutes ago. I'll have many of them on. Any of them on. What they can do is get on the phone, call up, or go on Facebook, and we'll put it on the airways at the same time. And so there's no reason why they can't engage the community if they wanted to. But I think they believe. Call me. Okay, I'll come see you. Yeah. Okay. I was talking to somebody through the window. It's hand sign, but this is radio. Anyway, 860-1440 is the number here. The mask policies in Montgomery right now, some of our favorite stores that we like to go to, Costco says it will allow fully vaccinated shoppers to enter without a face mask. Of course, we got to be serious. How do we know people are telling the truth? CVS says it is reevaluating its policy, which still requires customers and employees to wear masks. The Home Depot is still requiring masks at this time. Lowe's is still requiring masks at this time. Public says face coverings are optional for fully vaccinated shoppers. Target says that continue to require masks and social distancing while it reviews the guidance from the CDC. Walgreens says they're still requiring masks to wear. Walmart says Walmart won't require vaccinated shoppers or workers to wear a mask. Vaccinated shoppers can go maskless immediately. The company said vaccinated workers can stop wearing masks on Tuesday, though that's tomorrow. Winn-Dixie says will allow fully vaccinated customers and employees to shop and work in the store without a mask. Now the question is, how do you know who got really vaccinated? How you know how you know? I guess they got their card. I guess you got to share your paper. So I took my card and took a picture of it, put it on the phone. But I would imagine if you want to go to Jamaica, I want to zero going to Jamaica. If you want to go to Jamaica or someplace like that, I assume you're gonna get on the airplane. I assume you're gonna have to be able to prove that you've been vaccinated. And then I heard they were selling doggone vaccination cards to people. All you gotta do is now you can buy one. All right then. Okay, so you can buy your card. Okay, until everybody gets sick. Then we find out it was a fake card. I don't know how you can do it. I'm hoping that we get herd immunity some kind of way somehow, and this thing goes by the way it came out the door. Okay. Also, permanent daylight savings time. Even though Alabama passed it, it has to be approved by Congress. So, okay, Congress gonna take a little time to get this done. So y'all get ready to fall back and spring forward for a little while longer. Okay, I'm just telling you that's just the way it is. Okay. They say that gaming and lottery unlikely to pass on the last day of the session, which is today. You're telling us something that we do not know. We already know this. We already know it ain't gonna pass. We know. That's just the way it goes because they're not very bright down there. They're just not. It's not very bright. Maybe they should have went to Notre Dame or something. We had better people down there. Yeah. Education has been a wasted thing around this state sometimes when it comes to our leadership because common sense. Matter of fact, most of these decisions that need to be made can just be made with common sense. You don't take a girl and try to make her a boy. You don't take a boy and try to make him a girl. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Scientifically, You cannot do it. So I don't know. So I don't know. We just all confused in America now. Sometimes Americans have too much freedom. If there was sometimes we just a little crazy. Okay. Anyway, it's the last day. It's the last day. So of the session. I guess we'll just have to, figure out how this all works out. Anyway, thanks again. Thanks for all the people giving me my birthday wishes and everything. Yesterday was Sunday, but I appreciate it. 64 years old. Looks good on me. At least I think it looks good on me anyway. But next year, this time, I have my first beer if I live. Maybe some Cavassier, some Hennessy, some wine, all in one day. I'm going to taste a little bit and see what it tastes like. All right? Have a great day.
USFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Monday. We'll find some breaking news from Coosa County, where officials found a body face down in the water in Coot Creek. In the Valley community, no word on who it is or if foul play is suspected. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. State investigators looking into a Sunday shooting that injured 4 police officers in Birmingham. The officers were serving a search warrant to a suspect who wanted a shooting. The investigation started earlier that morning. The police responded to a shooting at a park where a man and woman were both shot and killed. All 4 officers were expected to recover. Police ended up killing the suspect. Officials with the nation's largest gas pipeline, which was hit by a ransomware cyber attack last week, say they're back to normal operations now. The Colonial Pipeline says it's now delivering millions of gallons of fuel every hour. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says about 200 gas stations returning to service every hour, and things should be back to normal by sometime later this morning. That's your news on this Monday morning. I'm Judd Davis for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440, the home of the University of Alabama baseball. Also heard on 95.1 HD3.
Yep. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez, just in from Washington. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a bid to revive a ban on abortions after just 3 months. Correspondent Steve Dorsey has the details.
The Supreme Court will consider Mississippi's effort to enforce a state law that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The ban was blocked by lower courts. It could be a major rollback of abortion rights. Arguments